since I made more videos on devotion, I am reminded of one being which helped propel the recognition of the self on my side, and they went by a name of YourHigherSelf. They've done YouTube videos exactly how I would make them, or anyone else who teaches spirituality, and their approach was more in non-dual sense. And somehow at the time, even though I have been looking a lot at spiritual videos, what that person would do or say in the videos, the message they would be conveying, a lot of times shocked me, and it was something that I haven't heard before. They have been teaching non-duality for a while, and then they've ended the channel with a video that there is no self. So many videos, and then there is no self. That is the last point. And that was it. And then after some time, from non-duality, this person deleted the whole channel. They had like over 100,000 of views. They deleted the channel, and they said that the new age teaching of spirituality is deceptive. That they themselves feel like they've been deceiving people with their own teachings. They said some things were right, but some things were my own blindness, ignorance. They've said that they have looked into Christianity, and in their devotion, they just said that they saw Jesus and that they realized that their way is not the way. And we cannot judge someone's journey. But one thing is clear, non-duality, and people who are very much into non-duality, they can be deceived also. And they can deceive others. And it's not because of this, it's just out of my own seeing that every teaching can be deceptive. No matter the way you teach, it can create more ignorance, it can break more ignorance. So there is no really right way to teach. There are more effective and less effective. There are different approaches, different paths to enlightenment. But on every path there is a trap. Many of them, many traps. So the new age is deceptive. But the old one is as well. Going the path alone is very elusive, and it's good to have guidance. But even without guidance, you notice things. Your journey is your own, and getting to the point of recognition and this identity is simple, but not easy. This person saying from the non-duality teachings, from such a high point of teaching, of non-duality, having someone like that say, I have listened to music of Christianity, to glory of Jesus, devotional music towards Jesus, and in a sudden moment, I've seen him. I do not know if they exactly said that way, at least that is what I kinda remember from the videos, but they said they've seen that the whole time, they've been taught to be empty. They've been taught to give up and keep staying empty. And it did not create fulfillment to be empty. But in that moment, there, they saw that one is not God as non-duality teaches it. They saw that not everything is just empty as non-duality teaches it. The perception shifted, and it has been seen that there can be a relationship with God. It is a different perspective. You could say, from the non-dual sense, everything is empty. I am nothing. Nothing matters. And for me to be enlightened, I must be empty. I teach emptiness also. I tell you to disidentify and be empty. for the recognition to really set in, to see that in emptiness you still are, in fullness you still are. But first everything needs to be removed for you to see, or overlooked, or just seen through, to see that God is untouched, that God is the basis of all experience, and that if you call it the self or non-self, or if there is a self, if there isn't a self, talking about it is one thing, seeing it is another. So then, in your emptiness, because if you are full of ideas and how enlightenment probably feels, and that it's this state that you're gonna get into, or it's something that it will go like, oh yeah, I got it, whoa, or something, you cannot find it. You cannot recognize. Because as long as there is an idea of how it will be, should be, or what it is, it will not be noticed. Because that's what you're looking for your idea. It is a surprise. It is not something that you go, this is what I've been looking for, hell yeah. No, it's a funny surprise. I do not know the experience of the one who called themselves your higher self, but if I made an assumption, I would say that in their own recognition, and in seeing that, you could say there is no self, the self is the individual, they've been trying to be empty of it. They embrace themselves as the body, as the mind, as all that is around. And they saw that they're not God, even though non-duality teaches it, even though spirituality teaches it. But it's a very deep seeing. It's a very deep point of seeing that there was still a little bit of ignorance from the teachings, from spirituality. And they were like, oh, this teaching has been deceiving me, making me believe that I am the Supreme, that I am the Absolute, that I am God. But I'm not God. But I can have a relationship with God. At the time I did not get it. It has been not even a year, maybe a few months that this happened. But it piqued my interest and I was like, what? But I am also this non-duality. What is this? I don't understand. I'm not seeing what they're saying. And the comments, the many people that watched them, they said they're disappointed. They said, I thought when you're enlightened you cannot go wrong. But you are going wrong, so you've never been enlightened, because if you were, you would not be telling us that you saw Jesus, or that you are having a relationship with God. Everything is consciousness. We are consciousness. What the hell are you talking about, this nonsense? And this person tried to explain themselves as best as they could. And they said it's a deception, because you take yourself as I am consciousness. But you're not, as I am God, but you're not. You are Peter, you are Maria, you are blah blah. It's a very different shift. So back then I just observed the comments and I was like, I have no idea what is happening. But this is very confusing. Why would someone who is clearly so high seeing and discernment suddenly being religious? Huh? They didn't turn religious. They turned devotional. And it's different. So much love for that one. They've been so helpful to so many people. And to me also. And it's okay. It's okay if there's many traps that can happen. So no one, even me, if I say something and it creates a trap for you, and your mind gets very caught up with it, like, oh, what does that mean? And they get very caught up in it. It's okay. It is about practicing your discernment and seeing what actually is and what is the truth of it. And then you see you maybe misinterpret something that I say. It happens a lot. If I talk with people, I say, do A and B. A week later, they're like, oh, you said do D and Z. And And it's difficult to do D and Z. I'm like, okay, but I said do A and B. And they're like, huh? Okay, I don't get it. I don't get that at all. I'm like, but as I'm saying it, A, B. And they go, yeah, G, L. I'm like, no, A, B. If that makes sense. It's because it's a simple thing, but your mind wants to process it too hard. It wants to, like, there must be something more to it. You cannot be that simple, because he is somewhere else, and therefore it must be a little different. Or maybe your mind cancels some things out. If I say 3 things and you remember 1, maybe something in you feels threatened. So then deception can be there. But we are always deceiving ourselves. So it is true. Non-duality can deceive you. Spirituality and different parts of it can be deceptive. And there is many things, subtler and subtler, that come up. And some things can just be resolved like this. And some take time, but they're both the same. It's just the charge about them and the willingness to see it and let go of it. And it's the same for everyone. On my side, it's not an exception. On any other enlightened being, it's not an exception. That there have been things which they refused to truly see through. And that's why it felt like the dissolvement or the let go of that particular charge or habit or whatever seems to take long to go. And some go like this, snap, and it's gone. They're all the same, but it's up to us. And then another deception can be created from non-duality. I am nothing, I am nothing, I am nothing, I am just discussion, I am nothing, I don't exist. Habit happens, I am nothing, If you're nothing, then you can never make a choice to let go, to stop something, to change something, to see how you truly are, to see what you really want, to see what is actually fun, what is enjoyable, and what you want to do with this life. Because if you're nothing, then you're still in conflict, you're still dismissing things. That's why spirituality, then spiritual awakening, feels like, that I said in one of my videos, I said, people who say that spiritual awakening made them depressed, that they are depressed because of spiritual awakening. I don't feel like doing anything, I don't feel like anything matters, blah blah blah. It doesn't. In the grand scheme, it doesn't. And from the perspective that is now presented, seeing that you are another effect on the consciousness, that your body is just awareness arising, just a part of life, same as everything else, that the ego gets let go of more, then it can still take shape. The mind says, oh, but nothing matters, I am nothing, and everything is empty, and I should stay empty in order to be enlightened, so I will not do that. They think of a new business idea, that would be so good, but I'm no businessman, I'm consciousness. I'm nothing. I don't really feel like doing that, because what's the point anyway? What's the point? That's a very difficult place to be. But it's a part of it, and that can happen too. So then this person, as my assumption, has been trying to be empty, and the consciousness, and they don't want to do that and this. Then they saw that they can be full. They can just allow themselves to be full, however they are. Allow their mind to be a person. Allow the body to live out the life, to experience things, while having a relationship with God, in the sense of devotion, of love, while knowing that in truth they are God, that all is God.